A boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up. Yeah, the whole world's invited, from the gravel roads to the neon dreams. She built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling when she hits go live. Everybody feels it. She's the queen of the comeback.
Have you ever noticed the phrase, "that's what best friends do," sounds really sweet when somebody is thanking you, but it sounds a whole lot different when somebody is trying to convince you to do something? Because apparently being somebody's bestie might come with terms and conditions nobody bothered to read. Imagine that.
Need advice? Ask a bee. The answers may not be perfect, but they'll be entertaining. Submit your letters and let Bee mind your business for a while.
So, welcome back to Ask a Bee. And this week we're talking about something near and dear to anybody who's ever had that one ride or die friend who knows where the bodies are buried, knows why they're buried there, and probably brought the shovel. Now, our theme this week is when being bestie isn't bestie for you. And tonight we're starting with 4 innocent little words that can sound sweet right up until somebody uses them like an emotional invoice. That's what best friends do. Because apparently, somewhere between friendship bracelets and emergency phone calls, somebody wrote a best friend employee handbook, and tonight's writer would really like to know when she agreed to the terms and conditions. So let's see what happened. All right, here we go. Dear B, my best friend and I have been close for years, and when I say close, I mean close. We've helped each other through breakups, money problems, family disasters, sick kids, dead batteries, moving days, bad decisions, and enough emotional emergencies to qualify for our own disaster relief funding. I feel that. I love this woman like family, and helping her has never bothered me because that's what I naturally do for people I love. If she needed groceries and I had the money, she ate. If she needed a ride and I had gas, I drove. If something happened at 2 in the morning, she knew she could call me. I never kept a spreadsheet because I didn't think friendship needed one. But lately, I've noticed something that is starting to make me uncomfortable. Whenever I can't help, don't want to help, or simply have something going on in my own life, she says some version of, "but that's what best friends do." At first, I thought she was joking. Now I'm starting to wonder if she actually believes being her best friend means I'm automatically supposed to say yes. The confusing part is that she helped me too. So I don't want to make this sound like she's some horrible friend who has never done anything for me. She has been there during some genuinely awful moments, and there are some reasons we've stayed best friends this long. But the balance has changed somewhere along the way. If she asks me for something and I say yes, everything is wonderful and we're besties forever. If I hesitate, suddenly I'm hearing about how she'd do it for me, how we've always helped each other, or how this is just what we do. Sometimes she'll even bring up something she did for me months ago, and suddenly a favor I thought came from love starts feeling like something she quietly put on my tab. Excuse me. What really bothers me is that I don't do that to her. If I help her, I don't save it as ammunition for the next time I need something. At least I didn't think that's what we were doing. Now I'm starting to wonder whether we've been participating in 2 completely different versions of the same friendship. Hmm. The latest argument happened when she needed another favor and I genuinely couldn't give her what she wanted. I had my own responsibilities, my own money problems, and frankly, I was exhausted. Instead of accepting my answer, she hit me with, I guess I just thought that's what best friends did for each other. Oh, ouch. Not good, bestie. That sentence made me furious, as well it should, dear. Not because I don't want to help my friend, but because suddenly all the times I have helped seem to disappear because of the one time I said no. I finally told her that being my best friend doesn't give her unlimited access to my time, money, energy, car, or whatever else I happen to have. Now she's hurt and says I'm treating our friendship like it's transactional, which is ironic because I feel like that's exactly what she's been doing to me. I don't want to lose my best friend, but I also don't want to spend the rest of this friendship proving that I'm a I'm a good one every time I need to say no. So B, am I being selfish or has that what best friends do become a guilt trip with a cute little friendship bow tied around it? Signed, apparently bestie comes with benefits. Mm. Okay, well let's hash this one out a little bit. As soon as I get that off my face, right? So when helping turns into expectation, look, there is a difference between knowing your best friend will probably be there when you need her and believing she's obligated to be there every single time. There's no obligation here. You're friends. You're not even blood related, which still has boundaries, right? At what point does years of willingly helping each other create an expectation that nobody actually agreed to? When is that point? Honestly, because I would love to know. Does being dependable accidentally teach people that your availability, money, time, car, energy, or even emotional support is always there to count on? I mean, you can be there, but we all have lives to live, right? You can't always be that. You just can't. It's not feasible. We all have separate lives, right? Listen, me and my best friend, we have our issues too. Okay? I'm not going to pretend we don't. But under no uncertain circumstances would I not discuss this with her if I felt that way. And do it in a manner where, I mean, you guys have gotten along this long, right? There's really no context on how long you've been friends, but my best friend and I, we've been friends well over a decade. And sometimes we have more problems than others, and other times we have no problems whatsoever. And I'm making videos singing, Bestie, where are you? I miss you, right? But there are times that when I have to say no, it feels awful. It really does. And I try to relay that message. And, there are times when, sure, I've probably gotten upset because she told me no. It happens. But you've got to find that medium ground. You've got to find where you can talk to each other. Well, hello, Devin. Grandma right here. How you doing? Anyway, so to move on just a little bit, the secret friendship scoreboard. Okay, that's something you need to put behind you. Friends can help each other for years without ever discussing who has given more. But trouble starts when somebody suddenly pulls out an invisible scoreboard during an argument. Past favors that were, supposedly given out of love can start sounding like unpaid debts. Sorry. My dog apparently loves plastic bottles and didn't know he had one or he wouldn't have it now. Dude, leave it. So if you only mention what you've done for somebody when they tell you no, are you remembering your friendship or collecting on it? Anything that's happened before today, this very moment, should be left back there for both parties. You don't bring up the past. That's what real friends do. You don't keep track unless you really feel uncomfortable, like our writer is saying that they do. If you feel uncomfortable, then it's time to have a talk. You need to sit down and discuss this because that's a lot of history you got right there to just wipe off the slate, right? Over a misunderstanding that could have been solved through a discussion. And sure, it's going to get heated at some point because one person's not going to feel like they've been doing that when they have. And that's okay because if you're good enough friends, you're going to talk through it, right? Right? Instead of collecting debts through the whole argument, talk about it. Now, this I would do it for you doesn't mean you have to do it for me. Look, two best friends can love each other equally while having completely different finances, responsibilities, energy levels, abilities, and boundaries. One person saying, well, I would do it for you, that doesn't automatically make the other person selfish or not selfish. It is fair to measure somebody else's friendship by what you believe. Is it? You would sacrifice in the same situation, right? Especially when you're not actually the person being asked to make that sacrifice. Is that not true? I mean, honestly, think about that. Because I totally got a message from my bestie in the middle of that. But is it fair to measure somebody else's friendship by what you believe you would sacrifice in the same situation? I mean, you know, it cost me $20 worth of gas to come over. So did they automatically owe me $20? No, absolutely not. Because you're doing that because you want to go over there, right? So why would it cost them the $20 auto? Now my dog's going to. Okay, sorry, didn't want y'all to have to listen to that. All, I don't know, one of you, which is probably me on my camera or TV. I don't care. This is important to me and I'm going to put it on here anyway. So here's the deal. Yeah, sorry, the dog has gotten me sidetracked. Chews on a bottle, then chokes to death. No, he didn't choke to death. Stop saying that. Sorry, YouTube, you didn't hear that. Look, what happens when the friend who always says yes finally says no? I think that's the biggest question here, isn't it? When someone is so used to hearing yes all the time from their best friend, and then suddenly they have to say no, okay, think about that. The situation. One doesn't want to have to say no, but has to. The other one has never heard no. This is a huge situation that can become such a big problem for you and your best friend. Unless, of course, you sit down and you talk about it. The bottom line is you're going to have to talk about these things. There is no way out of it if you want to keep the friendship. And to our writer, I hope this doesn't sound harsh to you. I'm not trying to be. What I am saying, though, is you two need to sit down and talk. It's not going to get resolved. It's just going to get worse unless you both can sit down and relay how the situation is making you both feel. And in that conversation, maybe you can even say, look, this is how I feel. And then the other person can say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I made you feel that way. That's the better situation, isn't it? Yeah. Because no friendship that has lasted, like with my friendship with my best friend over a decade, no friendship with history should be allowed to just go away because one friend said no. And honestly, I want to talk about the guilt trips for a second, because right now, that is my biggest issue with the whole situation. Guilt trips. Guilt trips are just rude, y'all. Just rude. Why do you need to guilt somebody into doing something for you when you know full well they're going to do it for you anyway, right? If it's your best friend and all they have is a no for you, it's not because they didn't want to. It's not because of spite. It's not because of anything else, but that they couldn't. Because if that friend is that friend all this time, that friend is only doing what they can do. It's not what they want to do, because of course they want to do for you. If they can't, they can't. And when, one friend has a problem and the other friend brings receipts, what do you do then? Do you trash the relationship that you've had all this time? Of course you don't. That's not what you want to do. A friendship can develop an entire pattern around one person being the fixer, helper, lender, driver, rescuer, listener, or dependable one. Everything can seem perfectly balanced until that person finally sets a boundary. Nobody likes boundaries. If one honest no suddenly causes anger, guilt trips, accusations, or a list of everything the other friend has ever done, was the friendship really comfortable, or was the other person simply comfortable with the arrangement? I think that's the big question here. I think it's more about the idea. And if this friend just has this idea about you because you've made them believe that about you, only, some people, they take it a little further than they should. You give them an inch and they'll take a mile. It's true, it happens. But if that friend is a true friend and has, I'm sorry, she's texting me right now and she knows I'm busy. But, you got to be comfortable with the arrangement. If you're not, then that's when it's time to sit down and talk. So I guess the ruling here, and because I keep getting distracted, I know I put my phone on do not disturb. As you can tell, she doesn't watch my shows. But look, the ruling. Can you change the rules without ending the friendship? That's a really tough question to answer. You can deeply love somebody, value years of history, appreciate every single thing they've ever done for you, and still realize that part of the friendship isn't healthy anymore. Does protecting a friendship sometimes mean changing how money and favors and emergencies, expectations, and boundaries work between you? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, at this point, you should probably start establishing those boundaries with your friend. And if your friend can't handle it, then your friend is no longer your friend. Because if they can't change with you, you're not asking them to change for you. You're asking them to change with you. Okay? Let's get that straight, because I don't have nobody saying that I'm saying you got to change. Because no, everybody in the situation has to change. There is comfort and then there is no comfort. And right now, you're both in each zone. She's comfortable, you're not. You need to come back to reality with this and sit down and have this discussion and simply say, this is how this makes me feel. Can we discuss this? If they get defensive, I guess you know your answer. Because getting defensive instead of talking it out is always, always, always going to ruin friendship. And you know what? It's okay. They'll get defensive, and maybe somewhere down the line, they'll get over it and come back and talk to you about it. And that's great. We're all entitled to our little bit of time to cool down after finding out we've been rude, right? Oh, this dog. Bubba, can you take that in the other room, please? Or at least hack up that lung somewhere else. I'm so sorry. I don't understand your language. Please forgive me. So ultimately, when that's what best friends do, okay, but what about the important questions of life? Like, do you think a pretzel maker is very good at tying his shoes? Well, that's a good question. I'll bet you he's great at it. If he's a pretzel maker, I mean, have you seen how pretty those look when they come out the oven? Yeah. So, when that's what best friends do becomes pressure instead of love, can you reject the obligation while still choosing the best friend? Of course you can. Of course you can. I am from Russia. I said, hi, American Granny. How are you? Well, hello from Russia, and thank you. I am doing quite well. Very well, thank you. I appreciate you translating for me, and very happy to meet you. Thank you for being here. This show's only 30 minutes, so, just had a bad joke, that's all. Yeah. That's okay. Bad dad jokes are good here. We like them. Yep. And you are most welcome to come up with all of them you want to, because that's pretty good, actually. All right, so listen. Here's my ruling. Best friendship should come with love, loyalty, honesty, emergency phone calls, ridiculous inside jokes, dad jokes too, and probably enough mutually assured destruction to keep everybody behaving themselves, but it does not come with unlimited access to another person's time and money and energy or ability to say yes. That's my point. That's what best friends do is beautiful. When you're describing something somebody freely chose to do for you, it gets a whole lot uglier when you're using it to tell them what they owe you. Friendship shouldn't be about owing. You shouldn't be keeping tabs, and you can love your best friend, appreciate everything they've done, remember everything you've been through together, and still say no without submitting your best friend membership card for cancellation, right? Just oil up. Well, there you go. I'm just curious, is that helpful off the grid? Being oiled up? Oh, maybe if you're chasing wild boars. So if one little boundary can destroy years of friendship, maybe the boundary didn't break the friendship, okay? It just showed you what the friendship had quietly started requiring. And that's the ruling from this here bee. Oiled up, dad joked, and very happy to have it. Until next time, you guys, though, remember, you can love somebody with your whole heart without handing them the keys to the whole damn hive. Okay? Y'all go see my friends at Tuber Chat. I'll see you tomorrow night. Same time, 8 p.m. Central. Buzz you later.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, says, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why. If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description.
A boss be rising, baby TV